That would be crazy.
And then we'd be exhausted, like, oh,
We'd never go.
No.
Yeah. So,
No.
But thank you for chatting with us.
Of course.
I want to take it all the way back, starting off with how you came to LA
Oh.
and when and what prompted it.
It was right, like 10 days after I turned 19.
Oh, wow.
I went to college because I felt forced to go to college, not by my parents, but just by the school I was in. It was everywhere, everyone's house she went to. Their parents would ask, where are you going to college? The counselors at school,
Everybody
where are you going
did
to
that.
college? It was really the only way, at least where I lived. There was nobody really being like, I'm not going to go to college, even if it was community college or anything. So I felt like it was what I had to do. And I tried it. I tried my best. I gave it a really tough go. And at the end of the first semester, I just thought to myself, this isn't for me. And I honestly looked around and I didn't like that a lot of the people around me in the dorms, it felt like this was the end for them. They were partying, they were living it up, and they knew right after they were going to have to get jobs. And it felt like it was over, you know?
Gotcha.
And I thought, well, why am I going to college to get a job that I feel dreadful to go to?
Yeah.
And I know that's not the case for everyone that goes to college, but a lot of these people, I just thought, this isn't for me. I want to chase my dreams. I want to chase what's fun and exciting to me. So I told my parents and they didn't believe me at first.
I was just going to say, how did they take it? I mean, your mom is so sweet. Your parents are pretty great.
Yeah.
But they're still parents.
Yeah. And I mean, now that I'm a parent, I can't imagine if my 19-year-old came to me and said, I'm going to pack my car and move to Hollywood, because it really is kind of scary in Hollywood.
It's very scary.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want to, yeah.
No, yeah. And it's just kind of scary. And you're still developing at 19.
Yeah.
You're as big and brave as I thought I was. I consider myself very lucky that I didn't get into too much trouble.
I feel that way too. Sometimes I think back to like my younger days and like just stupid shit I'd do and like
Yeah.
people I trusted and think I'm like, I'm lucky I'm alive and like nothing bad happened, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. Okay. So you packed up?
Yeah, I packed my car. I found a roommate on Craigslist.
You're also lucky. That was good.
Well, I felt safe because I utilized Craigslist a lot back in the day.
Me too. It used to be safe. That's where I got all my furniture. And even one of my girlfriends had met this guy at a concert and she looked on the Lost Connections for him. Do you remember? Or Missed Connections or whatever? Yeah. Okay.
My first, I mean, how un-PG do you get on this?
Oh, as un-PG as you want.
Okay. Well, yeah, my first hookup with a man was on Craigslist, Men Seeking Men.
Tinder before Tinder.
Yes, because I was so
Grindr before
curious
Grindr.
and I had to confirm to myself, is this something for me? And I didn't have anyone in my vicinity. So I thought, oh, I'll try this. But that's also how I found my roommate. And I felt safe because she was a few years older than me. She was going to LA Film School and she was already living in a place. So I found a place. It was a 1-bedroom apartment. She took the living room. I took the bedroom, $500 a month.
Nice.
I had saved 6 months of waiting tables to be able to come because I was funding my own journey here.
Yeah, but also responsible.
Yeah. And so I thought I'll give it the 6 months that I saved for and really give it my best go. And if I hate it, I can always go back. And I just immediately kind of got a few jobs. I worked at The Gap. I worked at Body Factory. I just got any job I could to sustain and stay here. And yeah.
And never left. Well, I mean, you kind of left a little, but not really.
Yeah, kind of for a second, but
So how did you find yourself? So you wanted to go to Hollywood. Did you want to be an actor?
yes. Yeah, actor. Like and I was young with I kind of looked like the kids that were in Disney shows at the time. I had the long swooped hair.
I've seen the photos. Maybe we'll put one up if we can.
Yeah,
find
I'll send you a couple.
Perfect.
And so because I had oh my gosh, my phone's not on silent and Citizen's going crazy. That app scares me.
Oh, it scares everybody.
What was I talking about?
I looked. You had the swoopy hair. Like
Oh, yes. So I got into rooms easily with agents and managers, but I was not a good actor. And so I found out what I was okay at was getting myself in the room or getting and selling myself once I got in the room. But then when those people got me auditions, I kind of just tanked at the auditions.
What do you think made you a bad actor?
I wasn't trained.
I mean,
And
I'm
then
not either.
I quickly got into acting classes, but I also don't think I had a lot of crazy, like, I don't know, something. I just wasn't great. I
feel like maybe it's something people have or don't have. I've never tried.
Yeah.
But I know I'm not like...
I would try really hard, and it just never clicked for me. But I was in love with entertainment. I was in love with the entertainment industry. And I thought, wow, I can talk and I can get myself into these rooms. So why don't I just merge this into hosting, which is talking about entertainment.
Which is its own celebrity, really. The people who work for E! News and walk the red carpets and stuff like that.
And that was initially my dream, you know, get to do what Ryan Seacrest and Juliana Rancic at the time were doing. And
I remember them very well.
Was the pinnacle of that.
Yeah.
And so then I really fast tracked trying to figure out how can I get myself there. So I would wait tables every night. And then during the day, I would work on any red carpet or any event I could for free to build my reel. And then I just keep sending my reel out to all of these companies saying, I'll do these red carpets for free if I can have the footage. And I would just do that, keep editing my reel until I finally landed a much better job where I then got a salary doing it. And so I think just building and trying over and over and over, you finally find your rhythm. And I liked that more than I liked acting. So I really was able to fine tune it and get good at it and make a living off of it.
Well, it was like you're naturally good at that stuff. When you said like I could get in the room and I could sell them on me, but then
because my peers, I know a lot of actors because I was going to all these acting classes. My circles became people that were obviously trying to become actors, and a lot of them were so talented, but they couldn't get a meeting to save their life, or they could they have so much talent, it's crazy, but it's just sitting there because they don't know how to execute on it. And I was always good at finding the contact or putting myself in front of them somehow or maneuvering my way in. And I really think a lot of show business or entertainment is getting yourself in the door, because you can be the most talented person ever, but if you can't maneuver the business aspect or figure out how to find your footing, it's going to be wasted.
Totally. Well, and it's like you're a good salesman in a way, you know, and I feel like that people use it as a bad word, but it's a good word. It's like, it's part of all business. It's part of life.
Yeah.
How do you make people take you seriously? How do you get people to listen?
Even to sustain on YouTube nowadays, you have to be a salesperson. You've got to be selling yourself to sell to brands to sustain being able to entertain for a living.
Yeah. Wow. I had no idea. All that work. So working like super long days.
Yes. And this was years and years, but 19, I got my contract at Clevver is where I worked, I think at 23, and it was really hustling.
Yeah, to push it.
Yeah.
And Clevver was a big deal. So tell me a little bit about that for people who maybe aren't familiar.
Clevver was basically the YouTube E! News. It was very high production value. It was very well edited. It was well researched. They had the access because they made it a really well produced entertainment show. We had red carpet interviews. We had the Daily Hollywood Rundown, which would more so be the traditional E! News that you would watch, where it's two people breaking down the stories. We would do all sorts of shows that were all centered around entertainment, but we'd do the junkets. We go to the places. I mean, I would fly to London to do junkets with them.
Oh, wow.
It was a really cool job because you're doing the job, but it was on YouTube and for a younger demographic, because I looked so much younger and I was younger that none of these bigger brands were taking me serious, nor was I prepared enough to get that job yet. So Clevver is where I felt like I got really good doing all this work for free. But then when it became my full-time job and I was doing it every day, I felt like I was able to get really good at it. But then I detoured into YouTube. Yeah.
How did that happen?
Shane. I honestly...
How did you two meet?
So I was working at Clevver. Clevver had, almost by accident, another channel really succeed being more YouTube than entertainment. It was Clevver Style, and they would test style products or, do crazy, they would be YouTubers. And it was kind of the base started around style. And Shane fell down the rabbit hole of that channel one day. I think maybe tweeted or started DMing with one of the girls, and they asked him to come on. And by that time I was really integrated in Clevver. So I was on most of their shows across all of their platforms. And so when he came in, we had crossed paths a couple of times because he kept coming back to collab. And then after that, we had known of each other, but we matched on Bumble.
Oh, funny. I didn't know that.
And I think we both had swiped, I guess, right or yes, whatever it is, because we had some previous knowledge of each other. He says
as someone with curly yet thin hair who has recently started highlighting their hair, I have noticed an intense amount of shedding. Like when I'm in the shower, it feels like I don't know how I have more hair left on my head because it's in the drain, it's in my hands, and I've had to make a concerted effort of getting it out so it doesn't go down the drain. And I know that I am not alone in this frustration with hair thinning and shedding. For a long time, I thought it was just something that I had to accept. I tried countless products and nothing made a difference. But that was until I discovered Vegamore's Grow Hair Serum. Vegamore is the leader in plant-powered, science-backed solutions for thinning hair. Their Grow Hair Serum was recently named the #1 prestige hair serum and is clinically proven to reduce shedding, leaving you with visibly fuller, healthier hair. Seriously, you guys, you should see the before and after photos. I'd heard of Vegamore years ago when one of my girlfriends had horrible postpartum hair loss, and she said this was a lifesaver. So what sets Vegamore apart? Their formulas are vegan, cruelty-free, and formulated without harsh chemicals. Grow Hair Serum is packed with peptides, plant stem cells, and plant-based phytoactives to deliver real results in as little as 3 months. And the best part? It's clinically tested, with 93% of users experiencing less shedding and 90% seeing an improvement in overall appearance of their hair. What I love most about Vegamore's Grow Hair Serum is how easy it is to use. You just fill the dropper and you put it in either wet or dry hair, and it doesn't affect how your hair has to be styled. It's amazing. It doesn't make it greasy either, which I thought it was going to do, but it doesn't. It just absorbs right in. Just after a few weeks, I've been using this for about 3 weeks, actually almost 4 now. I've noticed less shedding. Even in the shower when I comb my hair out with my Tangle teaser, barely any. It's amazing, you guys. And my hair has felt so much healthier as well. I don't know what I would have done without Vegamore. Since the best results come with consistency, I've subscribed to the jumbo size bottle so that I never miss a day. If you're struggling with shedding or thinning, don't wait. Vegamore really works. Tired of dealing with shedding and thinning? Take back control of your hair with Vegamore. For a limited time, go to vegamore.com/Katie. Code Katie to get 20% off your first order. That's vegamore.com/Katie. Code Katie to save 20% on your first order. vegamore.com/Katie. Code Katie.
Because we had some previous knowledge of each other, he says he had seen me in like a lunchy break, which is essentially we just vlog going to lunch once a week at work. And he said he had seen me in that and thought I'm going to marry him. And then months later matched with me on Tinder. He said that was after we had crossed paths at Clevver, but I had remembered meeting him at Clevver. So we both had knowledge of each other, said yes to each other, started talking on Bumble, very quickly escalated. Then we just started dating. I would say not even a month later, we were spending every night together. And then he convinced me to move in with him. And then we've been together for, I don't know, 9.5 or 10 years.
Has it been 9.5, 10 years?
I think so.
I mean, yeah, it tracks. I'm just like, wow.
It's either 9 or 10.
But we're still 24. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But he really was the one. I didn't grow up watching YouTube. I don't know where I was.
I didn't either.
But I did it. Shane, actually, when we first started dating me, took me down the rabbit hole of all the different YouTubers and introduced me to watching YouTube as a form of entertainment. And I kind of knew it was out there because Clevver was doing a version of it. But I wasn't familiar with the whole YouTube space or the YouTube world. And so when we started dating, I became a lot more familiar. And he said, well, I started being in a few of his videos because at the time he was doing 5 videos a week.
I remember that.
Bulk filming them. He wasn't really happy doing it. So I think any collaboration with another person made it a little more fun for him.
Yeah.
So then I started appearing in his videos and...
Because didn't he have different ones for different days, if memory serves?
Yes.
Like one was like a cooking one.
Yes.
Like
Every day was... Yeah, you got a set video. And so he would film all 5 in one sitting.
Wow.
And so, yeah. I started going in, and then after people started taking to me from his channel, he said, well, why don't you just post a video on your own channel? And And that did really well. And then I started making more money on YouTube than I was at my job. And I thought, well, I just had to pick because my job came down on me and said, well, you're exclusive to us. And I said, yeah, for entertainment news, this is completely different. But then they got kind of nasty with me and I just had to choose. And so I chose me. And
Yeah, I would have too.
although I loved that job, that was the trajectory I wanted to go on. Like I really did want to go down that route. But when I started thinking about it logically, I thought, well, you can't guarantee YouTube's longevity for anyone. It's a scary job path.
Yeah.
But if I'm presented the opportunity and I'm making more than I was at my job, I have all this free time to pursue that and other things. So I just took the risk and did it for myself. My mom thought I was crazy because at the time I got a really good salary and she worried for so long about me because I was just waiting tables. And it was an awful feeling because I had 2 roommates at the time and they both went the college route. They both had jobs where they were making 6 figures a year. They were my age and I was waiting tables with no promise of an exit.
Yeah.
And so they'd go out on Fridays and have fun on Saturdays and Sundays. And I didn't have the money and I had to work those days while they were living this fun life. So for a while I thought, I really have to make this work for myself because I chose this path. And if not, I'm just going to be doing this forever, which, I mean, if you're content doing that, that's okay. But I was not.
Yeah, it was more like a stopgap. You were working so you could feed yourself while you got to your dreams.
And so I made sure that every moment I wasn't working, I was figuring out how to progress myself forward. My mom thought, no, don't quit your job. I was making close to 6 figures salary. I was getting bonus. It was a really cushy, good job. But I just thought, I've got to take this risk. And here we are, I don't know, 6-7 years later on YouTube.
Yeah. No, it's funny. I feel like people don't realize the fear in taking the leap to do it on your own.
Yeah.
Because we often think like, people look at it like, oh, it's amazing. And like, what a cool life. But it's a real scary thing. I remember when I quit my full-time job, my mom was like, no. You have good health insurance. You're making a good living.
And health insurance was a big thing in it too.
And, I couldn't do it anymore.
No.
It wasn't what I wanted to do. It was, I saw patients still, but like working full time, it just wasn't going to do it. I couldn't do that anymore. I loved being able to reach more people, do a different thing. Yeah.
And make your own schedule. And it's wonderful and it's challenging, but it's incredible. Yeah. So, I think YouTube has been the most rewarding and I've learned the most about myself while doing YouTube because you're always learning something new.
Totally. And R.I.P. Clevver.
Yeah. And yes.
You got out at a good time, to be honest. The craziest part about
this was a year later they went under. Mm-hmm. And so in the grand scheme of things, it was the best choice I could have made because who knows if I would have been picked up by anyone else. Yeah. Right then and there.
And if things were taking off.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that was the craziest thing when it went under. And I just knew I made the right decision. Yeah. That was, wow.
Because I wondered, I didn't know if you had jumped before or if it was because of that. Because
no, they actually were threatening to sue me like crazy because it got kind of nasty. And I was like, at the beginning, I told them, well, I'll still work here full time if you'll let me have my channel, but they didn't want that. And my agreement wasn't exclusive with them, but it just didn't make them happy. And to be honest, what made me upset at that job was, and it sounds crazy, but in the opposite way, it favored the women because we had a male boss and it was a lot of entertainment news. It's like the pretty girl. Mm-hmm. My boss just loved women. And I think he knew he needed a guy and I was their token guy at the time. I think I was their first full-time male employee ever.
Oh, wow.
But he would bring in new women after me and I'd have to fight tooth and nail to get on shows, even though the audience was telling him they wanted me on the shows. So I was just frustrated because everyone else was getting all these opportunities to create shows there or get these big budgets to make shows inside of Clevver. And I wasn't given those opportunities because I didn't have a great relationship with the boss because he just didn't relate to me.
Until you said that, I didn't realize that everybody I know who was at Clevver was female except for you.
Yes. Yeah. They brought in a couple guys after me. But it was just different and I get it. A guy started it with 2 women hosts, and they were kind of 3 business partners, and it just evolved into what it was. And then I think some of the women hosts were actually the ones that championed me getting hired and thought, we need this. It's kind of a breath of fresh air here.
Yeah.
But they ultimately didn't have the saying power of who gets the budgets to start shows or who gets to be in what show when. So it was always me just like knocking on his door, like, when can I do this? This brand new girl's getting this opportunity that I've been asking for a year.
That's exhausting. Yeah. Crazy. I mean, bosses can make it or break it.
Yeah.
Right? You can have a shitty boss and you hate your job, even if you love the job.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're shifting into YouTube. Tell me about your first piece of content. I know that happened prior to leaving, but what was that like? Were you nervous to put it out there? Probably not.
Well, it was
Clevver?
brutal because I didn't know what I was going to do or what I wanted to do on YouTube, but Shane was very encouraging, and they liked in his videos when I would wear wigs and play a crazy female character. So he said, you should impersonate pop stars. So I think the first one we filmed was Ariana, but like we discovered earlier, I'm a horrible actor. And Shane's really good at sketch comedy or playing characters.
And voices. I'm terrible at that.
He's really good.
Yeah.
And so he would direct me on these, but it was so inauthentic to me that we would start fighting because I would be like, I can't give you what you're seeking from me. I
don't have it.
I can't produce this. I'm circumstantially funny at best, you know?
Yep.
Like
Same.
if I'm dressed as a woman and we do something in public, then it will be funny, but I'm not punchline comedic funny.
Yep.
Or I'm not great at reading. Shane's so over the top with characters that he'd say, do the line reading like this. And
You're like, I'm trying.
So I did that for a while. I do Ariana, Miley, Bad Baby, all of them. And the end product turned out great because Shane knows how to produce a video.
Yes.
He really does. But it was a dead end street for me, even though it's what it really did. People took to them. People liked them. We were having fun making them. I still needed to figure out how to take over YouTube on my own, though, because he really was helping me at the beginning in a sense where probably too much so where then it almost felt like a second job to him. And I thought, well, this isn't sustainable because I need to find something that I can manage, that I can edit, that I can do. And I knew how to edit because I was always editing my reels and I was familiar with editing software.
Which is its hurdle all its own.
But to edit a YouTube video or a vlog or a style like that it takes some time. So I really did learn how to craft a video through editing from Shane. He would be editing my videos at the beginning and I'd just really be watching and learning and taking it all in. This was before I quit Clevver. We had to figure out the humps before to figure out if it was something.
If you could do it, is it sustainable?
Yes,
right?
Even for our relationship, because it's like, well, if I can't do the videos that we're producing and then they rely on you to do, and this is what we're doing for me, it's not really sustainable for me or our relationship or anything.
Well, it changes the dynamic of your relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then that's when I started doing more concept vlogs where it wasn't really vlogging my life, but we'd pick. YouTube was kind of that at the time, though. It was people doing something. So there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. And you're getting our life inside of that, but it's a concept video. It turned into the staying at 1-star worst rated motels or whatever. It just got really gimmicky because it's what would do well. And then I got really burnt out on that. But I would say it was 4 or 5 years of doing that. And I had a great time doing it. And it was so fun. And and then after, I guess the vlog channel came after all of 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was just over it on that channel. I was overkilling myself thinking of an idea that I can execute. I was posting I had scheduled posts, which was exhausting because you feel like you're on a never-ending treadmill. You get the video out and you're, okay, what's the concept?
On to the next.
You have to execute the concept, then you have to edit the concept, and then it's already time to start it all over again.
Yep.
And you're just like, oh my
I feel that. But I'll watch YouTube and I'm like, oh, this video is so fun and it seems so easy. And then I'm like, it is not. I know it's not.
No.
And then I'll start and be like, watch it like you're editing it. And I'm like, oh my God. You immediately are like, how many times do I have to walk into that room to get that shot just right? How many times do I have to do this? How'd they find that photo that they popped up? Like, it just sounds silly, but like
it all takes time.
Yes. And there's so much to it unless you hire it all out, but then it might not be exactly what you're envisioning.
That's a whole other thing, because then if you hire people, they're expecting on the income. So they're expecting to have the video to edit or the video to produce. But if you're in a creative rut and don't have anything, it just, it's hard, but you got to figure it out, I guess. Yeah. I just want to have fun making videos. I want to enjoy what I'm doing. And that's kind of where the vlog channel started. It was when something exciting is going on in our lives, we pick up the camera and film because we want to, not because I feel like I have to. Mm-hmm. And that's been the last, I think, 3.5 years. And I have the most fun doing that because it's not putting on something that isn't. It's when we're having fun, we pull out the camera and we film.
There's no deadline, no pressure.
Yeah. And it feels more authentic. It feels like we're just making a reality show kind of our own life without the drama, more just fun and lighthearted, trying to like have fun.
Yeah.
Or document big life moments. And I like it because I can go back and look at big moments in our life.
And how did you navigate? Because Shane and I talked about it quite a bit about like the cancellation. What was that like for you? Because he said that obviously it was shitty for him, but he's like, but it impacted everybody. And I hated that.
I mean, I felt like we were kind of talking about this. We touched on it before we left, but with YouTube, although we share our real lives, you really do have to have some sort of separation, because if YouTube is your life, it's a really crazy roller coaster.
Because they can love you or hate you.
Yes, and it changes all the time.
Yeah.
And in entertainment in general, it's not for YouTubers specifically. If you're in public eye, there's waves of things. And so you just have to learn how to go with it and just let people do what they're going to do, have the best intentions you can have. But I knew Shane and I's relationship was real, so no matter what the exterior world was saying, because so many people would call me and be like, you need to leave. This is going to be the end of, and these are people that are no longer in my life.
Of course not.
But they'd be telling me, well, you're not going to, and I was like, I have a YouTube career because of Shane, first of all. Mm-hmm. Second of all, our relationship's real. So if YouTube went away,
I love him. This has nothing to do.
We're still a couple. So it's just because if our job no longer exists, we still do. Mm-hmm. So why would I leave somebody that I know to be really kind and generous and incredible because of what people are saying, because it fits whatever narrative they're trying. And once something becomes bigger than, I mean, something like that, or any cancellation, if it's big enough, it's uncontrollable. You can't say anything because
you just have to write it out.
You just have to write it out, because everything you say will be skewed in every direction. Everyone's going to write about it because they're profiting off of it.
They'll rip that video, clip it into clips, and dissect it.
And so I guess what I learned from it is to not take it personally. To not take what people say about me personally.
I mean, I agree 100%, but I had such a hard time with that kind of shit. You know? I'm like, oh, I know they don't know me, but it's still.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah, I do too. And I think the best solution is to not really look.
Yes.
I will check after a vlog goes live check in and out for the first hour to make sure I didn't do something that maybe really offended somebody, or I don't like if there's, but after that, it's really none of my business. And especially I've muted everyone that doesn't bring me any sort of positive energy when I'm scrolling on anything. On YouTube, if you're a channel that talks about me, you're muted. I don't want to hear it. Yeah. I'm not going to look at it because I don't have that type of personality where if I see it, I need to hear about it.
I'm the same. I actually don't want to.
No.
I don't need to know.
And if you
it's not my
start,
business.
then you want to rebuttal or tell them why they're wrong. And I'm like, why do I need to prove
And why
to
would I
you
want to
that
ruin
you're
my
wrong?
day also?
You know?
Yeah.
And
true.
it's just, and then it affects how you create as well. If I know people think this about me, but that's who I like, I don't know, if it's a personality quirk about me that they just happen to hate, then I'd become subconscious of it and feel weird when I'm filming about that.
Yep.
And I think I just can create more effortlessly without taking in too much criticism.
To like come up with an idea all by yourself, put it together, edit it, put it out. Like that takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, and you have to be excited about it.
Yeah, and I'm hoping my videos are an escape for people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them to come in and be, of course there's depressing things that happen in life or sad things that happen in life, but for the most part, when you come to my channel, I want you to be able to escape, laugh for a second, and have a good time, and be like, okay, I can't wait for the next one to have a little moment of fun. So I don't want to bring the vibration of it down.
Yeah.
So it's just, I was already doing a lot of yoga, which I love, and that will always kind of recenter me. But I did start meditating during that time. And I think that gave me a lot more peace of just being like, oh, I know who I am. I know what's true. All of these people can say whatever they want, whenever they want. And I think what was comforting for them, every time we went in public, I think I had one bad experience in the last 4 years. Other than that, it's people being very generous. And even if they don't like us, they're quiet in public.
Mm-hmm. They don't say it to you, so who knows? Yeah.
It's just like, I really have to remember, even though it can feel big sometimes on YouTube or in our world, in the grand scheme of things, nobody really cares.
It's so true.
Yeah,
we lose perspective because it becomes our whole world.
It feels so big.
Yes, and everybody on YouTube's talking about it. Like I remember just a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, a longtime member of my community just realized that people tried to cancel me because of the Jake Paul thing. She's like, I don't know how I missed this. And I'm like, because it's not part of your world,
Yeah.
You don't need to know.
Yeah.
You didn't go searching for it, and it didn't find you. And I'm actually grateful it didn't find them.
Honestly. Which, yeah, thankfully. Because sometimes YouTube will just serve, if Katie's video's here, anyone talking about Katie or Katie video is there. Unless you're training your algorithm, not interested in this channel. Do not recommend this channel.
Which most people don't
Stay
do.
Out of my space.
Mm-hmm. I do that, but that's because I don't want.
Because we're creators. Yeah, we don't want. We were like, we don't want to be affected like that today.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't need my day ruined. Thanks. I got lots of shit to do.
And that's the thing. I know I'm coming from good intentions, and if I really mess up on the internet, it wasn't because I meant to. So I can sleep easy at night knowing who I am and who we are.
Yeah. And I think some of that comes from probably it's personality, but also we chose to do it when we were more adult.
Yeah.
When we started, because I've always been grateful for that. Like I feel really bad for people who get canceled when they're like 19 or 16 on TikTok. And I'm like, oh.
I wanted success so bad right at 19. Mm-hmm. And I see these, people that got whatever success in whatever genre of entertainment. How could you navigate something like that? Or how, I think too, so many things that people just say is not acceptable on the internet. And so you really have to learn what that is. Even simple things, just mannerisms or, Yeah,
well, even Sean and I do in our podcast, I forget the phrase. I don't even want to say it 'cause it probably upset somebody anyway, but I didn't know it was derogatory in some circles. I'm like, I've been saying that my whole life.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the history. I didn't know. And I was like, shit.
And how would you deal with that at 19? If it feels like the world's hating you?
I mean, this person was really kind. They're like, hey, I don't think you want to use that word. Luckily it came from a good place. But if you have a big spotlight on you, then
spirals out of control.
Yes,
gotcha.
Everybody makes a video about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they can profit off the headline. They're going to go for it. Which
always bothers me. That's the dirty underbelly of.
That's what I always had to remember too. Thinking these people are exploiting this for their own benefit. They're not upset. They're trying to benefit. They're
it's like Star Magazine.
They're building careers off of somebody falling. So of course they're going to take it to the extreme because this is
the headline's going to be like,
the worst possible because they want you to click. And of course, they're going to spin any narrative that may be believable to someone. And then somebody will take that narrative and take it further, and it goes further. And then it spirals out of control, and it's something that is now out of anyone's control. And you just have to write it out.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
You just have to wait. How did you decide to start podcasting? Where did this idea come from?
Because I wanted to get back to what I was doing in a way that I could control, because I feel like once I had an audience and people were watching, it felt like almost not a step backwards, just a different career path to say, oh, I want to go get a job again that would take me away from what I had started. And so I thought, well, I could still talk about things that excite me in entertainment and still host a show without having a network back me or having somebody be able to cancel my show or,
True, fair.
And so that's honestly where it came from. And at the beginning, I didn't know exactly what it was going to be. I thought at one point it was going to be somebody 10 years older than me, 10 years younger than me, kind of make it like a view that's not about politics, but just about life. But then my best friend, it just kind of fell into place. And now it's been years that we've been doing it. And it's become one of my favorite jobs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you love so much about it?
Well, we get to sit down and hang out for an hour every week.
Isn't that funny how I feel like there's something magical about getting to talk to somebody. That's why I was like, I'm excited to talk to you. Not that I don't talk to you, but like a one-on-one conversation on podcast, you're like, that's the focus.
Yeah. And now that we're both parents, it's work. So we both have to have childcare. We both get, we both get time with each other, and we have a great time doing it. And it's become a really good job. It's become a stable a job, because it is scary, YouTube. So you never know. So I think having multiple streams of income in this world, like in the internet world, is great.
Yeah, it's the smartest way. It's only survival way you can survive,
and
right?
I never jumped on TikTok, so I don't have.
Oh, you're not on TikTok?
No.
I thought you did with the boots. Didn't you do with the boots and the wig?
We flirted with it a little bit, but I honestly.
I was like, I think I follow you on there.
It came out in the height of everything going on for us.
True.
And then we dabbled a little bit, but I never became a viewer of TikTok. It just, I felt like every time I downloaded it, I would scroll and it'd be about one of us. And I just thought, oh, this isn't for me. So I'd put away TikTok. And every time I'd go back, I just never played on it enough to curate a For You page that caught me.
Yeah.
And then I never really created on it. So I never, Shane or I don't enjoy creating a reel for Instagram. I'm not on TikTok. I'm just not, YouTube is.
It's your home.
I'm old outside of that, really.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not. I know that's the new wave, but I'm not in love. I don't love really scrolling on it. I'm just not a social media girl.
Yeah, I never was either. That's the funny thing. Before it becoming my job, I didn't have any social media except Facebook. And I didn't even use Facebook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just kind of like.
Yeah, I stopped using it because it's all my high school. Everyone I went to high school with that I no longer keep in touch with. So I don't scroll there either.
Yeah, because like when's the last time I like friended somebody on there? Like 10 years ago, 12 years, 15? I don't even know. Probably.
Yeah.
One bone I have to pick is that I thought we were going to have a really fun wedding.
I did too.
Oh, R.I.P.
And we thought, the problem with the wedding was, well, Shane and I both aren't big event people. We're homebodies.
Not at all. I was surprised when you guys were saying, I remember, didn't you guys talk about getting like a Ferris wheelie thing?
Yes.
Yeah,
we had, so at one point we were just going to have more of a carnival or a fair in our backyard here.
Yep.
And instead of pay a lot of money for a wedding, just have it be a big party for everyone to come enjoy. At one point we thought on really off seasons at Universal, you can book the downstairs area for
really?
a decent price. I mean, what some people pay for weddings.
Yeah.
And so we thought about that at one point. And then really when it got down to it, we'd start making the guest list and it'd be like, well, if we invite this person, we have to invite this person. And then we upset this person if we don't. And it became, well, are we doing this for us or everyone else?
Yeah,
what are
fair
we doing?
question.
And we'd put it off and revisit, put it off and revisit. And then finally we thought, we want to be married. Let's just go get married. So we went to the courthouse and got married, and then told our families afterwards.
Oh, I wonder.
Yeah. They know that we're not those. I don't know. We didn't have any. We've never really done a big event for any life event.
Well, neither
for
of you.
us.
I mean, I guess you like attention more than Shane. I don't mean that as a put down. Like I like it. We all like attention to some extent, but a wedding's a big
his nightmare to stand in front of a bunch of people
and have everybody watch him.
His actual nightmare. And that's why we were thinking, let's just have it be a big party.
Yes.
And we get married and then throw a big party for everyone to come celebrate us and just have a good time where the focus isn't really us, but they're here for us.
Yes.
But then the baby thing started happening. And it got away from us, and we thought, whatever, save that money. I mean, save that money and use it towards something else.
Seriously. And babies are expensive.
Yeah.
So,
and for us to have babies was, I mean, because it's so traditional for how we had to do it, but not for the average couple. And it's expensive. So,
yeah. What was that process like? Did you always know you wanted to be a dad?
Oh, I always wanted to be a dad. I didn't know that it would be my reality, because I wasn't going to do it unless I felt like I had a partner in it that I really wanted to do it with. And so as soon as, once Shane and I got serious, then yes, we knew that we wanted to. And luckily the timelines aligned for both of us. We both kind of just agreed we wanted kids. And so then it became looking into the process, and that took a very long time, probably 3 years.
Yeah.
Because you have to find the donor, and then the donor has to do the retrieval. You have to create the embryos. Yeah. After you get the embryos, you have to get matched with the surrogate. You don't know if even when you do the transfer, it's going to take with the surrogate. So,
yeah.
Luckily all the big milestones worked for us. Our donor had a great retrieval rate. I think she had 19.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because I'd thought about doing it. Me and my cousin both thought about donating eggs. I don't want children. Right. I was like, I've got them.
Yeah.
If somebody else wants to do that, that would be awesome. What a gift to give,
Yeah. Truly incredible. Her and the surrogate, it's wild that they are they want to, Yeah. And with our donor, I believe something in her child, she was conceived by either the father or the mother.
Oh, okay.
And so that was a big element for her wanting to get in and do it herself. But she had a really good retrieval. And then Shane and I both had, I think, 6 embryos take.
Oh, wow.
So we had 12 embryos altogether. And then we implanted 2 in the surrogate. Both took, and here we are 14 months later with twins.
I know. And one definitely looks like you and one looks like Shane, but we don't know for sure.
Yeah, we know for sure.
I feel like we know for sure, but we don't know.
Yeah, we don't have confirmation from like a blood test or anything, but
we know for sure.
Yeah, there's lots of evidence.
Yeah.
Doesn't make us love one more than the other, though.
No, I think it's actually perfect.
Yeah. It worked out incredibly. And that was we wanted multiple kids because we wanted them to have that sibling relationship. And that's why we thought, well, let's just put both in. There's no guarantee they'll both take. Yeah. And it took the deciding factor off of us of whose embryo we were going to use.
I wondered about that.
The biological.
Because that'd be hard.
Yeah. And I guess a lot of people okay, I'll be the first, you'll be the second, but then what if you have a first and you decide after you're in the thick of it you don't want a second?
Yeah.
And so twins was bold, but it's
a lot. Boom.
Yes.
A big
you're
change.
a first time parent and you have 2. But it's been incredible and fun, and we've learned. I'm sure Shane and I are both going to be on, so I'm sure we'll talk about that together, but it's been incredible.
Yeah. It's so wild children are amazing for so many reasons, but like the mark of time and even when I came, I was like, oh my God, they're so big. And he was like running across and I was like, wow, on his little tippy toes.
It moves so quickly. The fastest, looking back, it feels like I don't remember not being a parent, but it was also the fastest 14 months of my life.
Yeah. Was it a hard adjustment with work or time for yourself doing your yoga, stuff like that?
Yeah, it's definitely a new balance because now everything is for the kids. But for us, I mean, we had to, if we wanted to maintain, I mean, the conversation is, do one of us want to not work and take care of the kids, or do we both want to work and get childcare? And we both get a lot of fulfillment out of that. And I'm the type of person, I need a well-rounded life, or I'm not going to be able to show up my best for the kids. And God bless these stay-at-home moms that do the job 24/7. I would go cuckoo bananas if you had no release. I mean, I got to get out and go to the gym. I mean, even like I was saying, us recording our podcast, that couple hours really recharges my battery. It does. I'm like, oh, I can go back into babyland, you know? So I like having a well-rounded life. I didn't want to not work anymore. I also like, even though Shane and I have a great marriage and a great partnership, I wouldn't want to give up working because we have kids. I also think it's a good example to show our kids that you can be a working parent, you know?
Yeah. So you can do both things.
Yeah. We decided we both wanted to work, and we do. And it works out.
Have you ever been in therapy?
So Shane got in therapy, and I begged Shane for a long time to get in therapy. And then
I had no idea, by the way, when he was telling me about like peeing blood. And I mean, I knew he was not doing well, not taking care of himself.
There were so many physical things, but then he would also bring things into our relationship sometimes that I'd be like, okay, this isn't about us necessarily. I'm not a therapist, but it's
even the fact that you think that's why I'm like, have you been in it? Because you have such insight. Like, even the way you talk about things, I'm like,
Shane would say I need therapy.
Oh,
he's always like, go get a therapist, go get a therapist. And so he got in therapy. It drastically changed his life.
Yes.
Completely changed his life. And so he then convinced me to get in therapy, and I was in it for 6 or 7 months, but I just didn't click with my therapist. And then I did a little bit of work trying to find a different one, and the search was so exhausting that I gave up.
And that is unfortunate, because you do have to click with them or it won't work.
Yeah, and then I just felt like I was producing a podcast for this person rather.
I mean,
she wasn't a bad therapist.
No,
but if I didn't have anything that I felt I was struggling with, I thought, okay, well, what am I going to do with this 50 minutes? How am I going to, and then I felt like I'm producing my therapy session. I'm like, let me start a notes app like I do for my podcast of things I could maybe bring up.
That's not good.
And I know I'm not like, of course everyone can benefit from therapy, but I guess I don't feel at a breaking point enough where I'm at the moment thinking I have to go get therapy.
Yeah.
Right now, my mental reset is, I know you're like, it sounds crazy, but if you go to hot yoga, I know you do.
Love you.
It is, I mean, even more than physical for me, I can be having the worst day ever and I can reset.
I'd love to hear your thoughts, because I have a couple of reasons why. I realized it the other day because I miss it so much in Austin. I mean, I miss LA in general. I'm a Los Angelino at heart. But I think it's because the heat not only is like, I think, purifying in a way, and like it's a good detox, but it's so overwhelming.
Yeah.
That I literally can't think about anything else.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's with a group is then motivating, and there's
you don't
like
want to fail next to your peers. If they're if they're executing, you can't take the lazy way out.
No, I'll be like, I could do another.
And if you have a good teacher too, you kind of want to, you don't want to let everyone down.
Totally. It's like motivating.
We can all do this. We could do this hard thing. And while you're sweating it all, you're also twisting and it's a huge release of everything for me. And I think it's also an excuse to put away my phone.
Yes, because you can't bring it in there.
It's one of the only times I become unavailable, especially since becoming a parent. I always have my phone on loud now, because it's like, what if childcare needs me? What if Shane needs me? If he's taking care of the kids and I'm out of the house? What if the kids need me? Or what if an emergency happens? And so that is really the only place where I know, like, Shane's with the kids and I'm gone. I put my phone in the locker and nobody can contact me. You know?
Isn't it silly how, like, what a luxury that is?
Yeah. And I think we fall so victim to it just being a crutch, where we look at it at all moments. That hour break from technology alone, just being in a dark room with music, it forces you, because although I meditate, I never meditate in the moment I need it. It's like when I have time, okay, I'll walk out, I'll sit, I'll meditate. It's not when I'm having a horrible day, spiraling out of control. Like, let me take a pause now.
I know. You don't think about it then because you're in it. It's like things you have to, it's almost like the pre-work or something. Yeah. No, totally. And I also like that it's not bright lights.
Yes.
Because I feel like so much of my life is like, we're in front of lights now. I mean,
And I hate studios that have windows, actually. I want it dark. I want it pitch black. I want the heat high, the music high, and it pitch black.
Yeah, agreed. Same. It's almost like it's not a desensitization because things are happening.
Yeah.
But it like, you have to be you have to be like focused.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is fascinating.
I mean, people that love it, love it. I mean, it's.
And you like crave it.
Yes. It
sounds like we're addicts.
I am. I mean, it is. I picked up yoga before I got a job in LA. I had never tried it when I was 19. Mm-hmm. I dropped my stuff and I thought, well, I don't know a person in LA. I didn't know anyone. So when I had dropped my bags and I had finally settled in my room, I thought, well, what do I do? And
how do I meet people?
I thought, I'll go to a yoga class. I don't have anything else to do. I don't have a job right yet.
Yeah.
And so I would go to the gym twice a day. One of them would be yoga because I didn't know anybody and I had nothing to do. And so I lived close to a 24-hour fitness. So I would work out once. And then at the end of the night, I thought, I'll try a yoga class. So I've been doing yoga weekly since I was 19.
Wow. I don't know when I started. I don't know how old I was. I think I was like 20, maybe 21, 22. So 20 years.
Crazy.
Oh my God. Yeah. And the only reason I did it is I worked at this little cafe in Santa Monica called Jack and Jill's. It was a breakfast and lunch spot. I love that job. And there was a yoga studio upstairs, just like half a block up, and they'd go up. It was an old ballet studio. And the guys and women that taught it would come in and grab like a tea or something before.
Right.
And one of them was really pushy about like, you should try it. And I ran at that time. My mental health was really bad, by the way. I was having a really hard time.
Running wasn't a release?
It was, but I was doing it for the wrong. I was like doing it to like numb out kind of.
Right.
I'd like run way too much. And my dad was like dying. It was terrible. And so one of the guys had come down. He's like, I have a class. He's like, what time do you get off? And, I don't like this guy. So I was like, creeper. But I'm like, I get off at 3. And he's like, my class starts at 3:30. You should pop upstairs. He's like, do not pay me because it's like a donation only. But he's like, don't give a donation. I just want you to try it. He's like, if you run, you really need to stretch. And I have a feeling you're not stretching. And when I tell you I was not flexible, it was not flexible. But it was the hardest, most rewarding thing I think I'd ever done. And I was addicted.
And there's something about stretching that does release things.
Because I crave that too.
Yeah.
Like even sometimes in Sean and I'm like, oh, I need to, it feels good.
I don't have many friends that are yogis.
That's why I was like, I don't
everyone
either.
else might be bored. They're like, oh, whatever, you guys.
Just try it. Don't knock it till you try it.
Yeah. Give it a good try.
Exactly. So what are you excited about now? What are things that you're working on? I know you have the podcast. I know you do the vlogging. Do you still want to be an e-news?
I was thinking about goals as the new year had come, and then January was awful. So we had the flu and the fires and everything happened.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, what do I want? And I'm very content right now. I think.
Isn't that nice?
Yes, it's very nice because this job allows me, even though I'm working, I get to work from home. So even if we have childcare here, I still see most of the kids' days.
Mm-hmm. I thought of that when I came in. I was like, oh, it's nice that even though you're doing your own thing, they're still around.
Yes. And so I really cherish right now that in these years where they're so young, I get to be very present. And so right now I'm so grateful that my job is from home and that I'm not, because my long-term goal has always been a duo morning talk show. And I would love that. I don't know if that's a dying form or not. I mean,
I still love that though.
I do too. I always have. It's always felt comforting to me. It's always felt, I just love all of it. I love the schedule of it. These people go in to work kind of early, like 7.
Sometimes like 3 if you're like Today's Show.
I want like the 1 hour. I want like the 11 a.m. hour where they're going
totally
at 7 or 8 and then they're leaving at 12:30.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you make a great salary. You can still be present. But right now, I think That's long, like 40 to 50 year old goal. But right now I want to maintain this year. I want to be able to maintain what I put out on the internet, maintain being able to work from home. And I have all these big dreams, but I don't think they need to happen this year.
Yeah.
And I think just chill. I'm not a very chill person, so I'm trying to.
I mean, I wouldn't say you're not chill. I'd say you're scheduled and you're determined.
Yes, and I've always been very ambitious.
Yes.
And I think I've got to a place where I can allow myself to not do anything, but to live in the life I've created and not always chase more. Always, because I do believe at a certain point, what's meant for you will come. You can try as hard as you want, and I do believe putting one foot in front of the other will get you somewhere. But at some point, I also want to enjoy. I don't want to always be rushing to the next thing or always be...
Well, there's always more, too.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like this goalpost that always moves. And I'm similar in that like, I always want more, and I can do more. I can work harder.
But when you get those achievements, sometimes it momentarily feels good. But what feels better for me is being present with my friends and my family.
Yep.
And what's real, because everything really could end. You know, I mean, the end of the world
fires
could happen.
and all the,
You never know. And so I don't want to look back and say, oh, I missed my kid's whole life, or, oh, I was trying to achieve something. So I don't need to be the best or the biggest or the greatest, I want to enjoy my life.
Yeah, because it goes by quick.
Yeah.
I'm already surprised how old we are and how much time has passed.
Crazy?
I know, when you said you've been with Shane almost 10, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But,
because I was 24 and I'm going to be 34 this year.
Yeah. I met Sean at 24 too.
Wow.
That's a good age,
Yeah.
Well, thank you for chatting with me.
Of course.
It was fun to get to know you a little more, even though I know you, but not really,
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Of course.